Lewis Hamilton has had some harsh words to say when it comes to his W14 and the Mercedes design team this morning, claiming that the team and its chief designers need to take accountability, while also claiming that they didn't listen to him when it comes to the lackluster W14 concept. This comes just after Toto Wolff had called upon the team to make an immediate decision regarding what development path they should follow with regards to its upgrades of its W14 for the remainder of the season, with him claiming that its current design path will not eventually lead it back to the front of the grid. All these comments come after an extremely disappointing Bahrain Grand Prix weekend, within which the team came to the earth-shattering realization that they have fallen far down the F1 pecking order when it comes to the elites of the sport, that even the likes of Aston Martin have managed to leapfrog them over the winter, gaining a staggering 2 seconds from one season to the next. Add that on top of the fact that the Mercedes team have actually managed to hit all its targets with the W14 in terms of wind tunnel numbers, and it suggests that the team severely underestimated just how much they would have to actually need to improve by from one season to the next to be competitive. So Hamilton's remarks should not come as a surprise to them, but of course will naturally leave the team concerned, as this is a clear sign he is not happy with the choices that have been made during the off-season in preparation for the 2023 Formula 1 season. On the BBC's Checkered Flag podcast, Hamilton took an even more critical stance with his team than he did during at any point in the Grand Prix weekend. Having raced in every F1 season since 2007, Hamilton claims that his vast experience means he knows what a car needs. However, he says that the Mercedes team has not followed through on his guidance when creating the W14 and believes that cannot be allowed to slide.
It's really about last year there were things I told them, I said the issues that are with the car. Like, I've driven so many cars in my life, so I know what a car needs, I know what a car doesn't need, and I think it's really about accountability. It's about owning up and saying, yeah, you know what, we didn't listen to you, it's not where it needs to be, and we've got to work. We've got to look into the balance through the corners, look at all the weak points, and just hurdle up as a team. That's what we do. We're still multi-world champions, it's just they haven't got it right this time. They didn't get it right last year, but that doesn't mean we can't get it right moving forward.
Before hearing any more from Lewis, if you're new around here and are enjoying the content so far in this video, consider subscribing to the channel. And for those of you who aren't aware, there's going to be a competition run throughout the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix weekend where 3 subscribers will win teamwear from their favourite Formula 1 team. So be on the lookout for that as well. Alright, so let's continue with the video. Another worrying remark made was that he likened the current car and situation to his time at McLaren, when they couldn't give him the tools needed to fight consistently for world titles or winning on a regular basis. So while now faced with this very situation at Mercedes, he says that as a collective unit, they are going to have to turn it around.
We managed to have a couple of battles and it was close, but not quite there. And I've had many cars like this, particularly back in the McLaren days. And I don't know when or how we're going to do it in terms of turn it around, but yeah, it's going to have to happen.
So, where does this leave Hamilton and the Mercedes team as a whole moving forward? As we cannot forget that the season has only just begun, with 22 races remaining for the team to rectify the problems that they have made for themselves. Well, to begin with, as Toto's alluded to, they have the next 2 weeks to make a concrete decision as to which path that they want to take the W14 down. One of those paths is to continue on the current trajectory, which Toto doesn't have any confidence in anymore, And of course, the second one is to do a complete 360 and bring an almost B-spec W14 to life. Now, that second option is most likely going to be the choice that the team will take, as they have apparently got 2 variants ready as an alternative in their wind tunnel currently. The questions that they have to ask themselves now is how much higher the goals are for the alternatives and whether that will be enough to catch Red Bull, as Michael Schmidt puts it. And that is the major point in all of this. Are these 2 alternative variants of the W14 going to be enough of a radical change, as Toto would put it, with the scope to bring them back to the front, or at least close enough to fight alongside the likes of Ferrari, Red Bull, and of course Aston Martin? Now, if the latter team of Aston Martin is anything to go by, the answer should hopefully be yes, and the team will have to hope that one of the alternatives does in fact have that sort of potential hidden within it, as we all know that operationally the Mercedes team are a match for Red Bull and will eat up and chew out the Ferrari team once they get back into a competitive position. And not only that, they have to also think about whether they have the financial capabilities to do so in this cost cap era. Because as we all know, the undertaking of bringing a almost B-spec car is going to be one of a considerable challenge, both in terms of manufacturing time, but also in terms of a monetary one. And that's something they really have to pay attention to, because it's going to take a considerable amount of their entire budget for the season to get that over the line and to bring it to the racetrack. So they have to make sure that whichever of those 2 rumoured designs that they do decide to go down, if of course they choose to not stick with the current design, makes sense in terms of its longevity with the project, because I think that's also going to be the concept they will be using moving forward into 2024 as well. So it's going to be vitally important that they make the right choices and decisions around what they do. So that's going to be something that's really interesting to see play out in the next couple of race weekends, and any news that we might get on it through the news channels as well. Right guys, that is the end of the video. I hope you've all enjoyed it. If you have, leave a like down below on the video, subscribe if you're new around here, and I will catch you all in another Formula 1 video later in the week.